Hey everyone, NanMan here, and we've got a little different one for you today because this is a rebroadcast of the Pro Tour. I was, of course, doing the shared stream stuff over the weekend. If you guys wanted to check out the full VOD, that's over on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheRealNanMan. But this one is a match between Eli Kassis and Ken Yukuhiro. It's the, of course, Bant Nadu versus Mardu Energy. Really cool deck match that took place during the Pro Tour. But I wanted to specifically put this one up on YouTube for you guys to be able to enjoy because it really goes through the lines of what the Nadu list and deck is trying to do, so you can kind of see it a little bit more straightforward and laid out. Also, we get to see a couple really cool lines from the band or from the Mardu Energy list that Ken Yukuhiro was piloting. So thought you guys might enjoy this one, but you know, make sure you guys are checking out as we got more in-person paper magic coming up in the near future. We're also going to be doing a breakdown of the full meta and everything wrong with the Bant list of the bird here. But let's jump into the match so you guys can be able to check it out. It's a really fun one to be able to watch. The Mardu Energy. I like the Mardu Energy. So the difference between the Boros Energy and the Mardu Energy is like you get access to things like Thoughtseas, Orcish Bowmasters, and our Chthonian Nightmare there. Chthonian? Yeah, so this is primarily a red-white deck. It pretty much looks the same as the Boros Energy here when you're looking at it. It does not run the Doggo. Right? We're not running our Philia, the Shepherd, the Corgi. We are not running Bone Crusher Giant in here. We're not really running, those ones we don't really need. Hey, Bant Nadu. So it seems like the Summoner Pack list, the heavier green version. Oh, do we see? Okay. Yeah, look at this landfall. When land enters the battlefield, in your turn, put a +1 counter on target creature. Interesting. So that is, of course, giving you ways to swing in and close out the game, but it also gives you other triggers and targets. So it's like you don't need Outrider and Core. You don't need Shuko. I mean, it helps you if you have it, but that helps you get started with the combo. Okay, Mardu Energy, we've got some disruptions available. Deleted Halfling to start things out. So bolt the bird, as they say, with this little energy shot.
Maybe not amazing in this particular matchup. We've seen, at least on camera with the matches that we've been covering, that Nadu has done quite well. But
yeah, we need an energy token. Show us she should still have one energy left.
We are underway here as a galvanic discharge took care of a delighted halfling.
All right, let's go down to 17. Fetch, shock, get that hollowed fountain here. Oh, we get to see what's in their hands. Hey, I'm just going to cast this Spring Heart Nantuko. Let's see, you bolted my bird, my halfling. Let's see how you handle me setting things up, right, for some landfall triggers. Do you have more removal? Maybe.
Yep, absolutely. And from Ken has kind of the dream start here of accruing at least one energy on turn one and then playing
all right, so Amp Raptor, Chthonian Nightmare, Arena of Glory, Ajani as options. So we can start getting Amp Raptor out. We could go for the Ajani, but I feel like Amp Raptor helps set us up and progress our game plan more. So, hey, let's do it. Let's Thoughtseize you. Oh, okay, a double Nadu, Court of Calling. Yikes. Yeah, that's the, like, ugh. I feel like Court is the pick here. Yeah. Nadu times 2. Write it down. Write it down.
Been a little bit more happy, especially with what Ken saw in hand here from Eli Kassis to find Orcish Bowmaster to clear up the creature on each
Hey,
side.
I would like to make an insect.
It's not
Here's a
one
surveil
tap,
land
but
so I
different
can
land
take a look
nonetheless,
at my
so that'll
top
generate
guard.
a token.
By the way, next turn, I'm going to be trying to play Nadu and hope to
It's left it on top, at least for right
go
now.
for
We'll see
something.
if that changes.
Yeah, he says,
Nadu
I'll leave that on
got
top
10
and
to
pass.
play, who's got 2 copies of March Flats,
All right,
Green
so
Nadu,
are we on
Nadu
Arena of
Nightmare,
Glory
Nadu,
here?
Coddle Pariah, and
Ragavan.
now a Ragavan, Nimble Pilfer.
Looks great as it looks so far here
I
in
mean,
this
that just gets
particular
blocked
spot.
by an insect
Just
all day.
Not what it used to be. All tons
Yeah,
of creatures,
so-
the 1/1 creatures across the way.
Yep, 2-1.
Grazers,
Just, yeah, here's a first strike
Valkyries, all these
coming
things
across,
kind of
though.
brick wall. The one's
Let's push for a
powerful,
little bit of damage.
slash unbeatable Ragavan.
Yeah, the Monkey
What
Pirate
is our
tough
Johnny
for
here?
two,
Like,
for
make more
especially
dudes?
in this matchup. It
Yeah,
has
that's
very
kind of
much
like
negative
the,
force
seems to be the
being
play.
relevant, so
Play our
if
land.
Ragavan does join the party here for Ken,
Yeah, make
for
some
now, will be
cats.
a copy of a Johnny. Now there is a
And
Ragavan.
play the Ragavan. We're like, this is what you can expect to see. Like, if you remember old decks of back in the day, right, we get to see a go wide strategy. It is all about the kind of old school affinity, if you will. It's like we're just going to swarm out and go as wide as possible with creatures and see what happens here. Problem is, Eli Kassis is set up where he just needs a targetable ability.
Perhaps that may be the case.
How low can we go? That's kind of our thing. So he's sitting here and mathing it out and says, okay, if we do some blockers, you know,
just really shows how powerful.
yeah,
Nadu
he's
is
trying to
if you're like,
trying to
"Yep,
count
it's a
things out.
legend,
So our
but
goal
Ken
is to,
has to deal with it
we want the
and
cat
can't
to
really
die.
easily attack into it, so you
So
know
Eli
Eli
Kassis is
Kassis
probably
will
in that
get
point
a little
of I
bit
won't block
value,
the cat because if the
regardless
cat
of what
dies,
Ken's able to
a
do.
Johnny's gonna flip into the Planeswalker side.
Ken's
So we
right
don't
now
we
is
don't
very
want
advanced
that
with those
happening.
flats in that theater. So the struggle is somewhat real. And one thing you can also tell is here comes Ragavan and the cat token. But one
Yeah,
thing
so
you can
we'll
certainly tell here
easily
is
block that
one Thoughtseize is simply not enough against this deck. It's too redundant.
and
Yep,
not block
100%.
anything
Everything kind of
else.
circles around to get every single piece. So yeah, Thoughtseize is probably a card we'll see taken out here for the post-board games from Ken. And this attack here from Ken usually it just
Chthonian
kinda looks like,
Nightmare.
yeah, that Ragavan
Chthonian Nightmare
die.
is that
Why
enchantment.
would
It's
you
like
do
a
that?
reanimate
But you
spell.
have Chthonian
When it enters the
Nightmare
battlefield,
to
you
get
get
some
3
value and
energy.
get
You
it
can
back,
pay
and then plus
X
if the cat were to
energy
die,
and
you
sack a
get to
creature
transform
to be able to return target creature with a mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield activated as a sorcery. So we say, well, I happen to have this cat token that I wanted to die that you did not kill, so let's sacrifice that and turn it into this monkey here. Return our Ragavan, our little pirate monkey, and be able to flip our Ajani here.
Yeah, being able to make a cat and you see Ken is kind of struggling with where do you aim that damage?
Yeah,
Because,
that's the
everything
thing,
gets a
right?
Nadu trigger from
I
Eli
think
Kassis's
we
side, so it
go
feels
for
really
the
brutal to
Springheart
aim it at a
Nantuko
creature,
here.
But, you know, you do got to deal with them at
Yeah.
some point.
So
Now, Eli
the way
Kassis
this
will
works
get
out
a
is a Johnny Nakata Avenger has that 0 ability here. Create a 2/1 white cat warrior creature token, and then you can deal damage to based on the number of cats or creatures that you control to any target. So we've got lots of creatures. Let's do some zapping, which of course, hey, the way Nadu works, when it becomes the target, you get to continue on your adventures, and you get to be able to reveal, hey, it's a land, let's make another insect. All right, so Endwalker and Core, Shuko, we need a targetable thing at this point.
Wouldn't be too shocked if the game ends if we find the now most powerful 1-mana equipment here in Modern.
Kassis will draw.
Eli Kassis.
Get it just yet here from Eli. We gotta know there's a couple.
Another
copies of
Springheart
Nadu,
Nantuko.
Another copy of Springheart Nantuko.
Yeah, go swing in, kill a Johnny here.
Getting into the red zone, may still be considering it, perhaps to take care of the Ajani, or at least attempt to do so. Instead, it looks like it's going to be a bestow.
I'm gonna bestow trigger.
The Nadu, of course. And now Eli is just making sure exactly how this will go, which means the land doesn't enter the battlefield here.
Yeah, Eli just seeing if he gets the trigger off that to get another token. Does not since it's on the stack, but that is a fetch land, so Eli does have the ability to get
All right.
another blocker if need be.
Got rid of Ajani.
So not
Still
all
some
bad
threats on the
games
board.
there. Kassis
Still can swing in with Amped Raptor.
does have some work to do here. We have seen this matchup a couple of times here this week, and most of the time it was Boros energy as opposed to Mardu, but energy all the same. And the result consistently has been the same here, Corey. These energy decks very much struggling with the 3/4 bird.
Yeah, really struggling against the bird.
It's
and
like the
just
bird
struggling
just
with
has
a
really
lot
good
of the
stats. Like a
things
3/4
that
is
this
hard to
deck
push
is doing.
into when you're
Probably
trying
not
to
the
just like
matchup Ken wants this
aggro
week
your
in
opponent
the
down and
tournament,
Zerg rush them
but
down with a
definitely
bunch of
nothing
2/1s.
like an 80-20 matchup, nothing like that. Modern is so close these days that if anything, if it's a bad matchup, usually around 60-40.
Well, now look at Parlor. Needs a land for the turn. Now.
Here's another Chthonian Nightmare.
Once again.
Lots of energy. Let's sacrifice. Maybe we sacrificing Ragavan here.
This kind of interesting, unique take on recurring nightmare is what you're seeing here in this energy-based card.
Ah, okay.
He goes,
okay.
hey, let's
I'm
just switch
getting the
that for
goods now.
this.
That's one that didn't click
Well,
right
that one
away.
went right over, huh?
Get rid of
did.
this.
All right. That's the joys
Play
of MH3.
this.
There's all these little
Replay.
jokes going on, with the cards that you get to learn as it goes.
Yeah. So what's nice is like Chthonian Nightmare is great because it gets to be able to continue to be used.
I do get it now,
Because
'cause it's
every
recurring.
time that you return something
okay,
from the
all
graveyard,
right,
you
all right.
get to bring Chthonian
I
Nightmare
bet.
back to your hand, right? That's kind of that. Pay X energy, sack a creature, return this to your hand.
Use some of this energy.
You can only activate this at a sorcery speed, though.
And kind of going off with this enchantment right here. This is looking really good. Not
Let's
a card I was really
do it
expecting
again.
to see in constructed.
Just confirming the lines.
Flipping trigger is from activating the ability from the nightmare, and then the second Johnny doesn't show up until the ability resolves later on.
All right, so yeah, just confirming, hey, this works this way because it flips once it resolves and everything. So let's get another cat.
Feature match here, explaining exactly how this.
What are we shooting here? Shooting the.
It's not
I would just shoot the
Eli is sitting at a pretty
bestowed
15 life. Ken is just going pretty wide here and generating a lot of value.
insect maker at this
The
point.
attacks aren't the best here.
Like that's like we know there's another Nadu in hand, so us shooting the Nadu doesn't do anything. But Springheart and Antuco is kind of part of that engine. So let's actually. All right, let's do this. Yeah, it's like we'll probably go find surveil lands here, be able to set up. Yeah.
Now. This is quite the Splinter Twin situation with Chthonian Nightmare and 2 Ajani Nakado Pariahs, as you kind of just get to have multiple Planeswalkers activating the ability to go upstairs for Eli. So I think Ken has it all.
Yeah, so
wrapped
he's
up next
deciding
turn.
to shoot
If
face
Eli
with
isn't
the
able to find one of the
Ajani
many
instead
ways to
of
start triggering Nadu over and over.
being able to
There's
worry
Soul
about
Summoner packs,
Nantuko.
there's also
He's
Splinter
basically saying,
Crawlings,
I'm going to try to
more-
close the
more
game out.
Shukos,
I need
be
to
able
do that.
more than
I'm trying to
likely
do some
swing down
blockers.
as
I'm
well.
trying to do things like that.
Blood Halfling gets
I mean,
replaced
we
with
know
Splinter
Ajani's Planeswalker is going to die here, but the problem is it doesn't really matter. We can Chthonian Nightmare and do some flip now that you have both. We've seen the line now. All right, if you have 2 Ajanis, one in the graveyard, one on the battlefield, you get to do this nice little flip. I'll Chthonian Nightmare, sacrifice a cat. This one flips, and then I get to make a new Ajani and make another cat. And it's just like, oh, you're just doing the thing. Now, Haywire Might
And I think if Eli coulda went
is
back
interesting
to the top
because
where he surveilled that third Nadu to the top, he
in
probably
order
would've,
to
not
activate
used that
Chthonian
in that
Nightmare,
game.
you have
It just
to.
seemed
It's an
like,
enchantment,
most
and you
of
can
the
use
games are,
Haywire Might to get rid of it, I believe. It was like, I'd like to pay X, sacrifice a creature, and do this. In response, I would like to try to blow it up.
Going to be able to do a nice job of cleaning it up, but bad news for Eli Kassis here. There's another one.
Yeah, so one of the things about Chthonian Nightmare is when it does enter the battlefield, there is a trigger of giving the...
Oh.
So that gives Eli the opportunity to interact with it And that's why you saw the haywire might, excuse me.
Okay, that was the response. All right, so that makes more sense. So ETB of Chthonian Nightmare has the get 3 energy. Then you can be able to respond with the Haywire Might and get rid of it, but that don't matter. We're doing the cat stuff. Hey, let's do this sacrifice. Let's get a new one. Here's a new cat. Hey, let's shoot you.
Eli's gonna take some more damage, Corey.
Try to close the game out.
Because I think you get 5 damage here, and then you can do the Chthonian Nightmare thing once again for another 5 or 6
Sacrifice.
damage. And looks like we've kind of done it. All right, I wasn't really too hyped on these Boros energy decks because you don't really have.
It's like the Mardu energy seems sweet, right? It has a little bit more staying power than the Boros energy that's just like turn things sideways. Like I feel like if the Boros energy was in this position, they don't have the lines like this to be able to, oh, I can do this now. I find a way around what I normally do, sacrificing this. Let's, you know, bring this back. Flip this. Flips this. This Ajani legendary rule dies, goes to the graveyard. This goes back to my hand. Shoot you as well. Pew pew.
Very innovative way is going to win game number 1 here over Eli.
Nice, that was cool.
Some Mardu energy up a game over Bant Nadu, Corey.
Yeah, leave it to Ken to put some real nice
Yeah,
spice on an
that was a cool one to be able to see. Like to find that line of the Chthonian Nightmare, Ajani Nakano Pariah kind of loop that he was able to assemble there worked out really nicely.
In this deck, it's actually Shadow Spear instead of
Shadow Spear.
We
We've seen some Bant Nadu players bring that in from their sideboards as ways to go about things. You know, giving some. Let's push for some damage, getting some lifelink, some trample. The lifelink is really the important part when you're playing against kind of that aggro deck. But let's hit us with a Thought Seize here. You said you want to Thought Seize yourself? And looks like
endurance and a copy of Summoner's Pact. So Ken will consult his hand and see a Ragavan, a Plains, a Guide of Souls, a Fable, the Mirror Breaker, a Mesa, and Arena of Glory. And after knowing his hand, Eli's will select the Sun Cleanser.
Yeah, players laughing a little bit there. Eli said, target for your Thoughtseize?
That's quite the question. Quite the question.
Always an option to aim it at yourself, and there are certain
Sun Cleanser. When an ETB, choose one, remove all counters from target creature. It can't have counters put on it as long as this remains in the battlefield. Target opponent loses all counters. That player can't get counters for as long as Sun Cleanser remains on the battlefield. Interesting. I don't like that. As an Infact player, players can't get counters? No.
Did pick up Springheart Nantuko, which was, you know, had the ability to be cast this turn, but didn't want to put it at risk to not get any value off of it. At least this turn, Eli's able to get one of the very powerful Surveil lands. And then next
all right, Guide of Souls. Here's a lovely little monkey Ragavan coming out. Let's gain an energy. Let's get some life. Remember, our energy sync with Guide of Souls is very nice.
Will sacrifice that Misty Rainforest and fall down to 19. As Corey did mention, it's likely that there will be a Surveil land here for Kassis that does enter the battlefield tapped, and it will be that copy of Hedge Maze. So there'll be a Surveil.
All right, let's set up with some Surveiling.
As far as Yukuhiro is concerned, it's a good
Now we want to try to get a blocker out here to deal with the Ragavan. We do have an Endurance. We have a Springheart Nantuko. So we can try to set up for that.
Seems pretty good for Nadu, but not everybody's splashing black like Ken is.
Yeah, absolutely. And these Boros
throw that land there. We already have a Misty in hand, so we're not really worried about it. We're looking for other pieces to help us out. So yeah, there's the Springheart Nantuko. Here's our land. Landfall trigger. Now we got a blocker for the monkey. Make that 2 effect. He says no. Yeah, never mind. I changed my mind. Back and forth about it, but still works out okay. The plan still commences, and we go with what we're going for to begin with.
So we may be seeing that here in just a moment. And we know it doesn't take much for this deck to get the job done. The Summoner's Pact is already there as well for Nadu.
Yeah, and I'm really just seeing next turn we have.
Do we play the Shuko?
If Ken does go for
I don't know.
Fable, just that as a play.
I was like, our opponents could have wear and tears and things like that, but I feel like
able to cast Fable.
why not?
Creature comes into play, you get some energy, but notably you'll only have 2 energy, unable to send Regavan to the skies. So it looks like Ken needs to find some piece of interaction or.
All right, let's get some drawing going.
As you would say.
Yeah, we might have to get it all fired up. And Flage was the draw step.
Flage is nice.
Piece of interaction. It's not the
We're really hoping for some energy build up though, because if we can start, using our Guide of Souls to sink that energy, that's like definitely a way to help close things out. But right now, we have Shuko, we have Springheart. The way things are looking is we.
Summoner's Pact might have just been draw. I could be wrong on that.
You are wrong about that.
Okay.
All right, so Summoner's Pact is in hand. We know that's coming out. Oh, the Aether Hub. Gain some more energy. So you're basically staring down. You know that next turn we're going to see a Summoner's Pact for Nadu. We're going to cast Nadu. We're going to start moving the Shuko around. Flage, shoot Springheart and Tuco. Gain 3 life, gain an energy, deal 3 damage. And technically gain 4 life because of the Guide of Souls. Let's use that energy and dump into Ragavan. Get him to be a flyer. Hey, here's a land.
These players are going to confirm their life totals here real quick, and we'll allow them to explain it to us here.
Yeah. 20. We can't resolve only part of the trigger. If the trigger is happening, it must all happen.
So the judges are just confirming life totals and everything that is going on. You lost 3, 4, 5. You gain 5, back to 20. Yeah, there we go. Right? Played Guide of Souls, played Ragavan, played Flage. So that's 2 life off Guide of Souls, 3 life off of Flage, back on up. There's the treasure.
And what do you think happens next, Corey?
You know, I think we might be taken to the skies here, Cedric. Now, there is a real risk here. If Eli does not top deck a land, you have 6 looks at being able to
Yeah, this is all right. Here's our bird. Cast our bird.
Giving this a chance.
There's our flying token.
Kind of Nadu player here would probably go for it here.
Okay.
And we're definitely going to see.
That's an exile.
It's pretty fun times.
And away we shall go.
Let's start moving. Hey, here you go. Would you like this? Just slide it across the board here. He says, put it like this.
Eli's first time in the feature match here actually having to do this.
Looks like it.
Oh, nice. It says, hey, as you move through it, this is the first time it's doing it.
How about activation number 2 for Kassis on the Nadu? This.
That's a lamb.
The battlefield untapped. Next up on the conveyor belt is an insect.
The conveyor belt. There's a 1. And here's a 2. There's another land. I'll lose 2 life. Go down to 12. We're digging. We're digging. We're looking for a way to keep the engine going. Now, a worst case, we get another land and reset Nadu, right? Ooh. Risky. Shuko doesn't help us. We have a creature we could play. We could play Noble Hierarch and continue. There's a land.
So far off the screen, just like, come on, can I play?
Well, I said it wasn't going too bad, but I may have been mistaken because there was that untapped land. And now here's a Nadu that's going to take care of the old.
So let's reset it.
And of course, Corey, when this happens,
you get to reset and do it all over again.
Boom, first trigger.
6 more looks at
Bladed Halfling now.
One of the namesake cards to kind of close it out, the Springheart Nantuko.
Hey, a land. We'll take 2. Go to 10.
There's still a couple more creatures in hand.
Let's do it for our friend, the insect. Boom. Let's take a look. There's an Urza Saga. Let's do it again.
this will yield.
Spring Heart Nantuko. Let's cast a Spring Heart Nantuko.
Cast that, so that's on the battlefield now.
Here's the first
That'll
trigger.
mark the wave of
One
Shuko.
ring.
There's a 1 ring that'll be added to the grip. Next
Here's
up,
a
first
second
ring,
trigger.
two. We'll be looking
Another
for there.
Shuko.
Shuko's not one of them.
Okay.
Trigger.
There's a land. Now we go. Here we go.
Battlefield untapped.
Everything is off to the races.
Kassis is thinking about it. And he actually says it'll enter the battlefield tapped. So
Trigger. Let's make another insect.
that'll yield a token, of course. And now here's the second.
Let's do it
activation
again.
of that token. So
Aye, another land.
land enters the
Trigger.
battlefield.
Let's make
Trigger
another
goes.
insect.
Another token
Let's
here.
keep it going.
And now it's starting to get bad here for Ken.
Yeah, I believe
There's
that's
a
not
land.
token, that's a people. As,
Oh, yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's true.
Well, let's do it again.
It is the Make a People song that's starting to crash the airwaves.
Making people song.
I know.
Quarter calling's great.
It's-
Like,
it's a
that's
song
what we
that's really
want to see.
taking the airwaves.
Boom.
it's
Another
quite
land.
catchy. I
It is.
enjoy
Another
it.
trigger.
I'm trying to run down Joe Hendry. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Say his name and he appears.
That's
I believe
the
Joe
one
Hendry
that gives
and Nadu's the way
counters
to
to
win this
things.
game, that's for darn sure, because
Bam.
it's looking
Sylvan
pretty
safekeeping.
now.
We need
There's
that so we
Sylvan
can start blowing up our
Safekeeper.
lands.
Looks like Eli might be sacrificing one of these fetch lands here in just a moment. But we know
Yeah,
from
so
here
the
forward,
so
there's a lot
our
of
goal
things
is
you
to
can
start
do to win the
looping,
game.
right?
Eli's built
And
up
here's how this is going to work. You have the Sylvan
Some people have
safekeeping, so you could be able to
historical
continue
and a
to
bunch of other
move those
things, but
insects
it
across.
looks like this. You can see Ken is
Eventually, we're going to
sacrificing
start
Yeah,
sacrificing our
absolutely. Just
lands.
kinda hanging out, waiting for the next thing to happen, just like
And
we
be
are
able to
waiting
start
for your
looping
Spotify track of the song to release,
and
so that,
eventually
you
be
know, I
able
can,
to,
be following you as an artist
kind of
here and,
keep going. So he says, all right, I've done all these Nadu stuff.
Time to do a little chord call in here, folks.
Yeah, boom, 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 boom,
That's
boom.
what it
Let's
looks like
tap
to me.
all of these friends.
It looks like that might be for 3. So let's see exactly what he
1, 2, 3, 4.
The COC.
Tapping for 3.
singer and a rhymer. What can't you
Let's
do?
reset Nadu.
Well,
Okay.
Let's do it all over
Well,
again.
you found the
I like
John
watching this
I sure
match in
did.
particular right now
I sure did.
because this is a very
Not even
clear.
come out of the battlefield
You
and
get to
start
see
resetting right
exactly
there.
what is happening and why Nadu is a problem and why it was winning so much and why I want to play the deck because it just it's like the ultimate do nothing deck of like I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna move this thing from here to here and then I'm gonna move it from here to here and then did I get a land? Oh, it came into the battlefield. All right, let's do it again. It's just like Wall of Roots, cool. Let's do that again. I love that he's just like, I'm going to put the Shuko here to show you that I'm equipping it.
I do like Ken kind of sticking it out. I mean, of course, Eli Kassis is someone who knows what he's doing. He's not going to kind of do this wrong, but this is a good lesson to learn when you're playing against someone.
Yeah.
At least make your opponent do it once, you know?
Yes,
People gotta
that's
learn
it.
how
Okay, so that's a
to
great.
do the
Corey just
combo,
made a
and
good
I
point and was
always,
like,
make
at
sure
least
that
make
I
your opponent
can
do
see
it
my
once.
opponent establish
If they,
doing the thing,
you know,
because you know
it-
what?
some people are going to pick this list up and just kind of go, I have the thing. Do I win? Like, show me. Play. Let's play it out. If our because you know people might not understand how they win from here if they don't get to see all these lines. It's gonna take some loops and people might go fast, but like I'm wondering how many new players are going to go to time trying to learn this deck.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to see exactly how you sideboard in an
It's gonna be
open
interesting.
decklist tournament. You know, some players will do this kind of shortcut. Will be like, hey, you can just see my deck. We'll move on to the third game. But that's valuable information that Ken is getting right here.
Yeah, Ken's
And,
getting all
you
the
know,
information
people
about
on
what's
camera
going
time
on
as
in the
well,
deck,
etc.
what were sideboarded, what wasn't. So there's another chord. I don't know if he still has Thassa's Oracle or not, but that's okay. Let's keep going.
So there's a trigger here.
Beseiju.
And doesn't look like there's a Beseiju on the battlefield.
Eventually, we're going to do the Sylvan Safe
And looks like
Keeper.
It was hiding there. It was tapped already, so that one's going to bite the dust. New one, of course, will stay, given that it is untapped. And of course,
Those
that
plants
will
are
yield
insects.
the Nantuko to yield another insect. So Eli making sure that everything is looking okay.
Oh, he already made one. Or he says just do
Brief
dice at this
chit
point.
chat. Okay, so looks like it might be a little bit easier. with
Oh
having
gosh,
one-
we're getting all out. Okay.
Okay, sure. So 6 of them untapped. Clean up the battlefield a little bit.
Hey,
Keep
I'd like to
the
cast this
players
Sylvan
there.
Safekeeper.
And of course, you fine folks watching at home, Sylvan
Oh,
Safekeeper
all right.
looks like it may have just joined the battlefield. Dryad Arbor certainly did.
Dryad Arbor, you can even move that up with your creature pile because you can keep doing and going through the cycle with it. And like, all right, I can. It's a creature land, so you get to do double duty. It helps with the landfall triggers. It also helps you to have something to target with Shuko. But so yeah, there's the endurance. Okay, so we've got the things that we need. So now that we have endurance, we can be able to cycle through and get all of our lands.
And what players are doing here, Corey, is some sacking of lands to Sylvan Safekeeper and some endurancing them back.
Yes, endurance them back, put them back into the library, and you basically get to draw your whole deck up, more or less. Right? We're going through the motions now. There is basically a non-zero chance, or yeah. What I'm trying to say, the person is not going to fizzle, right? They've gone through everything. Okay, now we have all these things.
You can auto-war all their permanents back to their hand.
Yeah, he said you can auto-war all the permanents back to their hands.
And Ken technically will get another turn.
True.
But we'll have a battlefield that Eli Kassis the next turn can just untap, draw.
All right, so let's see how much he goes through the motions of it and shows us the sacrificing. So I think he's setting aside, right? I'll float all this mana.
Now, what is fun about this from Ken?
I don't believe he had the Thassa's Oracle in his list. I think he sideboarded it out. I would like to float all this mana.
Looks like a handful of lands are going to be sacrificed here by Eli Kassis.
And I think it's very specifically looking for specific lands we want.
But we are going to see some activations.
Yes, let's go through, do some of this. There's the Sylvan Safekeeper. Sack a land, target creature you control gains Shroud until the end of turn. There's so many creatures that it's like, well, I'll target all these ones. They can't be the target of spells or abilities anymore. That's fine. We're not worried about that. We're worried about the new creatures that we make that we can just keep going, right? Ken Yukuhiro is like, all right, show me all the stuff. All right, here's the mana that I'm making.
We get to see the whole thing here.
Yes, we get to see the whole thing. I love it.
Who said Storm wasn't doing well? I mean,
That's true.
That's true.
All right, here's this endurance. I will pitch this green card. So endurance enters the battlefield. There's the Wall of Roots getting pitched. I will activate endurances enter the battlefield. We will shuffle this. His evoke trigger is going to go, so we let him die. Right? So he gets to get shuffled back in, and we get to keep doing that. Would you like to cut? Yes, I would love to cut. Thank you. All right, we have 3 mana floating available. Still got our...
So this is why some players, Corey, this weekend have referred to...
There you go, triggers. Let's keep making insects.
Yep, absolutely. It's just not really needed anymore, and it is always terrible to just draw that card. Double blue can be a little tricky for the deck, and yeah, just not needed. Bristly Bill, even having 2 of those, I would be interested to get Eli's
they're sitting here talking and being like, yeah, originally Thassa's Oracle was built for the way to win, but it is not needed, not necessary. They've proven that they can just go through these loops, and the Ottawara loops are enough to get it done, where you can just be like, yeah, I'm going to bounce your stuff.
And one thing I want to bring up is usually you have a lot of fetch lands in the graveyard.
Can I look at your hand?
And after you put all your lands into play, you think, well, you don't have any lands to fetch for, so they don't have mana. Every one of the decks, the Bant Nadu decks, plays 1 Yavimaya, so you can just tap that for green as well. Everything's just really...
He says, I've gotten all the information now. Can I look through everything that you've got at this point?
Ken's going to get his final pieces of information as this game does come to its natural conclusion. I think he's seen enough. And
he says, let's go. All right, that was fun. Thank you for showing me the Nadu combo. Oh, man. Game 3 here.
That means he'll win the match and clinch another top 8 berth.
11-2 versus 10-3. Aether Hub to start. Spend that energy on Guide of Souls? No.
Huge high pressure situation for both players, but you wouldn't really be able to tell by looking
Fetch,
at
shock,
their expressions on their faces.
Guide of Souls.
Collected and have been here before.
Or we do Amp Raptor here. Yeah, if we get a
It's
white,
smart. Next up is
red
that Marsh
Sacred
Foundry.
Foundry here. Oh, it was the next card.
Golden
Nice.
Sacred Foundry here for Yukuhiro.
Yeah, so Aether, we're trying to hold on to that energy as much as possible. Okay, Guided Souls. Okay, so we're set up so Guided Souls, Amped Raptor helps us gain the life and the energy for the next follow-up turn.
With the fetch, it's only one thing I know for sure it won't be.
Yeah, it won't be a triumph.
That's correct.
For sure.
It won't be a Triumph. Yeah, players aren't running Triumphs anymore. It's crazy to think of. We're on Surveil lands.
I just got a glimpse there. We'll see the graphic of what is actually in hand, but I just saw a lot of reactive things. You see an Amped Raptor as the only
Galvanic
proactive
Discharge,
spell,
Static
and then
Prison.
2 Galvanic Discharges with a Static Prison. So really looking to just destroy a lot of Eli Kassis' creatures and hope that's good enough. Some games it is, some games it's not.
Well, we're gonna have
All right, let's see. Let's see.
his second turn of this
Endurance
final
and
phase.
Outrider and Core, Nadu, Dismember, Bristly Bill, Waterlogged Grove, Dryad Arbor, Windswept. So our goal is to set up here. We could worry, set up for Bristle Bill later on. We've got Nadu,
It was an interesting choice here by Ken to not play
Amped Raptor
last
coming
turn,
out.
because you still have 1 energy already laying around from the Aether Hub. So you could
There is
pretty
the
much cast
Dismember,
anything.
so it's like, do we care about
Looking for
getting rid of the
Eli
guide
to,
here?
place
No, we're okay with
no
it.
matter
It's
what
fine.
Raptor
Get
would
your
have.
additional energy. Wow, lots of lands. Hey, here's a monkey.
Find a good one there in Ragavan.
And so what did you get? Oh, I got 2 lands.
Nothing of consequence there for Yukuhiro. A little bit more energy here.
Bam,
from
bam.
the
I get
Guided
more
Souls.
energy. Gain another life.
I'm going to trigger a little bit of life gain too, given the Ragavan and
Just counting out, making sure everything is correct with the energy counts, right? Every time a creature enters, you gain energy, gain a life. Amp Raptor, of course, ETBs get some energy, so you don't have to spend as much. Let's send the guide across.
To get it right.
Do we spend any energy? That's what the debate is. You see him sitting there and hesitating and thinking about it right now, and he looks like, oh, nice. Says, I'd like to spend this 3 energy to put some counters on it. He says, that's fine. I'm going to lose 2 life instead and dismember him.
Which member were you?
Yeah, it's that one. You know which one.
Dismember's such a good card. It's like, it's one of those that's like always see and play in Modern. Whether it sees a lot of play or a little play, you always will see it in sideboards and stuff.
And Ken
Especially
added
in this
wear
situation
tear
where
to
it's
the
like,
hand,
yeah, it
another
sucks
way
that
to
you
interact in
are
a unique
fighting
way,
it
being
against a
able
Nadu
to
player,
play
or if you're in a
with
mirror
Shiro
matchup against a
here.
Nadu player and you try to
And,
dismember
now
something
it
and
is
it's like,
really these
nah.
2/1 creatures and a dream here from Ken. If Eli is able to play
Okay,
something,
lots of lands.
excuse me, like a Springheart Nantuko with a fetch land, able to put a bunch of blockers
It's like you could
out.
sit here
That
and
would really be
go, like,
ideal
the
card right
Nadu
now.
pass is,
Don't have
I
that
feel,
available. Yeah, pretty much anything.
feel a
Eli's gonna
little
play is gonna
risky,
get shut down
but
here.
I like the bristly bill. Yeah, I was like, I like the bristly bill landfall. Ooh, Dryad Arbor. Using that now, hoping to be able to have it active next turn. Counts the landfall. We'll put a +1 counter on our bristly bill.
If you're Ken, look, you don't got a ton going on, but you do have some removal spells in hand. You can clear the path.
Get
with
the
these creatures, get
Flage.
in with
We've
that
got
Raptor and that Ragavan.
Static Prison, Galvanic Discharge. Start out, yeah, shoot the Dryad Arbor here. Gain 3, use 1 of it. Let's use another 1 of it to Prison. Say goodbye to that. Swing for 4, get a trigger off a Ragavan. Anything good? Nat Force. It's fine. It's fine.
A little bit of luck. If you're rooting for Ken, a little bit of bad luck, and we're going to head back Eli's way.
Treasure still available, so we still have a Galvanic Discharge available. We have the Wear and Tear in hand. So, like, we're set up pretty nicely as a Mardu energy. Like, you look at that meter, things are like, oh, look at this advantage meter we've got going right now. But Haywire Might here. Pass. Haywire Might is nice. It's a blocker. I mean, not much of a blocker, but it is technically a blocker.
The static prison to get back a creature. Now Ken has so much.
Hey, you could do it against the static prison, but I don't know. It's like, do you save it for Chthonian Nightmare shenanigans? That might not be the play. We got to kind of wait and see where things go. Yeah, are we doing for the Flage?
So the
He's
beginning of
debating, it
Ken's
looks like.
pre-combat main phase, he will pay. Looks like he's going to be paying the energy to keep the static prison.
Yes, keep paying the energy to keep the prison around as long as possible.
There are some things to think about. You mentioned.
Yeah,
Blade.
there's static prison. Of course,
Because now
you
he
do. It's got that like
Ken's hand.
pre-combat main phase. Sack it unless you
Free
pay the one
defense
energy.
for the
So
first
kind of look at your
time
graveyard. Let me
this
take a
match,
look.
because
Go
there
through
is a ton
things.
to think about, which is how can I steal this game with a hand that was not very good. He's in position to do it, and boy, that's an interesting play. there.
Oh,
Not gonna
you may
pay the
have it.
energy, Gonna let the static prison.
I need
just
the
die.
energy.
Now the follow-up is a copy of Ether Hub.
Very interesting. I absolutely love that play if you didn't already have the treasure. Now, the treasure is still a target that
Flage,
Kassis can,
let's just
aim
kill
that
it.
Haywire might
Yeah.
at.
That's why we don't care about
But
that.
we might
We're gonna
actually
shoot
see
it
Ken
down.
just sacrifice
Opponent's
that
already at
treasure and
10. We
Galvanic
could push for
discharge.
damage, but it's
Discharge
like
Haywire
better
might
to just get rid of some
after
pesky
connect
things.
with, the bristly bill. So, yeah, this is a nice play from Ken.
Yeah, and Ken gave that
Flage
turn a
the
lot of thought
bristly
on what to do with
bill.
that static prison. So that decision, that's no accident. So
Fetch. Let's put some counters on Haywire Might
now
here.
for Eli, it'll be a sacrifice of the fetch land in response to the Flage.
All right, I think that's the play. Build up some blockers, get our land set up ready. Yep, there. Boom, trigger. We know we're losing the bill, so what's the point of putting a counter on that? We're going to try to have a blocker here.
Largely irrelevant, as it's just going to be one extra energy going away from Galvanic Discharge here.
All right, Flage goes to the graveyard. Could come back later on.
Also largely irrelevant.
Bam, here's a 2-1.
Wow.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
did not expect
Okay,
that.
so that he doesn't want to lose the Ragavan. That is at least telling of saying you don't have a lot of creatures in your hand. If you had a lot of creatures in your hand, you would send them both across because you're not worried about losing the Ragavan and trading. So that is telling me exactly the information I need.
Yeah, Eli is starting to reach
Now,
a
do
little
we
bit
go
here.
for the blocks here to preserve our life total? Sack it, and let's kill your treasure. Gain some life. Basically, we'll hug it out. We take no damage. We get to get rid of your treasure. We gain some life.
Maybe Ken missed that or not. Who knows?
Yeah, I think Ken's probably okay with that, as, yeah, he missed. He didn't get an attack in with Ragavan this turn, but he gets to maintain Galvanic Discharge for the next creature, Nadu being the important.
Okay. Nadu play here.
Kassis' way. Endurance, Outrider out of core, Nadu, and a Waterlog.
Oh.
And oh boy, this
Burton
one too, a
Forge
Forge
Tender.
Haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah, you and me both, partner. It's
So
been a
protection
hot
from
minute
red,
since
you
we've
can
seen
sack
that
it, prevent
1/1
all
kick
damage.
in
A
with
red
protection
source
from
of your
red, but it's
choice
on the
would deal
battlefield
this
right now,
turn.
and
And then
there's
we're following it up
And actually,
with
Nadu
a nice
alongside
little
Forge Tender, that's
Nadu. Hey,
pretty
a
good.
great way to
Doesn't
protect
match up
Nadu
one
from
upping
some burn
that
spells
discharge.
is having
Yeah,
a Burton
that was
Forge Tender there.
Incredible there. What a top deck there with the Borton Forge Tender. Now, I believe Eli does only have one, maybe two cards if it's Endurance
Surveil?
plus a green card. Okay, doesn't have the green card, so Eli
Throw
very much
another
kinda
Flage
dodged
in the
bullet here
graveyard
by
there.
Not having a fetch land from Ken, that would have enabled Flage to come back before Eli would be able
Yeah,
to get
we're
rid
kind
of
of
the
stuck
graveyard.
now.
But
Yeah,
now
you
with
saw
Eli
that
being
just
able
like
to
past
untap,
turn.
He's right back into this.
He very much is. And we know what this deck is capable of. It only takes
Outrider
one
on
drop
core.
down, something like a Shuko to show up. It's gonna be
Let's start
Outrider
doing some zero
on
cost.
core. And this is a heck of a find here because this works.
Yeah, it's like, do you try it? It doesn't. I mean, it gives him one less. It doesn't really. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. If you try to shoot off the Galvanic Discharge here on the Nadu, we respond with Burton. So that's two triggers off of Nadu and puts a stop to Nadu being able to use his ability this turn besides that. So let's do first trigger off the Galvanic. Get a land. Then Burton's ability trigger.
Kassis is going to take a quick read there, the Forge Tender, and say, I'm going to target the Galvanic Discharge. So all Ken's going to do is get some energy here in this exchange, up to 7 energy. Discharge is going to go away. And now the Nomads and the Nadu, well, they will play. Start to put them on the conveyor belt, Corey.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ken really had to think that
Yeah,
he
he
was
says-
for sure going to be untapping this turn with the ability to deal.
Oh,
with
oh,
Shuko.
never
This
mind.
was the
Okay, it
one
doesn't.
card that he really
It doesn't
couldn't
target.
deal
Burton
with
Forge
Outrider
Tender
and
doesn't
core.
target. it targets a spell,
So,
essentially.
the first
Prevent all
one,
damage red sorcerer of your
well,
choice
that's
would
just
deal
a
this
boring
turn.
old
Sack it and, like, name a thing. Hey, I'm going to name Galvanic Discharge.
How about this
So
app?
let's do this.
This one?
Okay.
How about this one?
A
That's
Nadu.
Nadu.
All right.
Okay, that does kind of end it here.
That's the stop, right?
Okay,
There's
does have
Nurse's
one
Saga.
more land, so still gets to go it.
Yeah,
gets to go again.
and that's pretty darn huge here
Yeah.
because this allows
Endurance.
hard cast a copy of Endurance, shuffle away all those cards in Ken's graveyard.
No more
Those
Flage.
flages, plural, those are going to go away.
And now let's
it's
keep
time to
going.
Keep it going here with the outright.
There's another land.
There's a Misty
Let's do it
Rainforest,
again.
second trigger.
Delighted.
That's a delighted halfling. Looks like Gilu's going to sacrifice.
Let's do it
that.
again.
Of course, we'll see what
Let's keep
green
going.
he does want to get, but Corey, it's starting to get away from Ken here.
Yeah, I bet it's a Dryad Arbor here to get a couple more activations, and this doesn't, or just play the Delighted Halfling. That's
Yeah,
perfectly
Delighted
reasonable
Halfling
as
is going to
well.
be the play
This
here
doesn't
instead.
look
It's
like one of
we had the
those
option of the
we'll see
Dryad
later,
Arbor,
but it's just over. But it's gonna
but
be one of those
here's a Delighted
situations where
Halfling.
Yuli's gonna pass
Boom.
and be like, well, what could you do, Ken? You know, I have this huge battlefield. I'm gonna do it all over
Another
again.
Nadu.
Next turn with Shuko
Boom.
or Outrider. And
Another
so
Delighted. Okay, that's
everything
fine.
coming
I mean,
up
we're set up in a pretty
to
decent
see
spot.
another
It
Sunday
still
appearance.
leaves the window open, but a lot of
Very,
Ken's
very
options are now
draws
gone.
with the Haywire Might and the Burrington Forge Tender. Extremely, extremely good. So let's keep it rolling.
This is upkeep on Ken, as Nadu has started all
Upkeep
over.
on
This is the way
Ken.
to keep it going, and
Oh,
wow,
I
this
forget
deck
you could do it on
looks
each
so
turn.
incredible.
What
It's doing
the
it-
heck?
And again,
it's doing its
Look at all these chords.
remember, the thing that's really important to note here is that this is
You
not
can chord for
Shuko.
one.
The fact that it is
Oh,
exactly
now you can
Outriders
chord for
and Core
two.
allows Eli to do exactly this, which is on your upkeep, I'm going to do the activation.
Oh my
right? Because
gosh.
in Shuko, you need some sort of weird lean. I think it's lean in Shikari. I can't remember. It allows you to equip an instant
One,
speed. I really do
two,
hope
three,
I'm correct about that one, and that it is
4,
Shikari.
5. You could
Regardless,
find
really
Springheart
nice
and
sequencing
Tuco
here from Eli. Maybe got a little
off
bit
of
fortunate
chord
with the draw
here
success,
and just
but
keep going
maximizing
if you wanted
that good
to.
fortune to put himself in a winning position.
Yeah, the
But yeah, he's set up now that it's like I have all the stuff, all the pieces and all the things.
Top decks that he could have had, and as you would expect for a card like that, that's a one of fun of in the sideboard, and a good one, I might add.
By the way, I just checked my work. It is lean in Shikari. I'm the smartest person alive. Oh my gosh, we have it! We have it!
Leon and Shikari. You may play equipment abilities anytime you can play it instant.
Cat Soldier today. Let's go, people in the truck. Let's go.
We need some spiders here for our references yesterday as well.
Yes.
Fatal push. Ooh, this died. Let's kill that. Let's chord in response. I mean, we have Shuko in hand, so it's like, let's do this.
Meanwhile, Eli Kassis has 9 cards in hand. I think can piece together another way.
Yeah,
to
let's
do
go
this.
for 2. Chord for 2 here. Get Springheart and Tuco. Oh, Sylvan Safekeeper. There you go.
So the one that's so much fun is going to be able to protect that Outriders on core.
Yeah, we're goal is protect, not just continue the train.
Just a really
He says, it doesn't matter. Hey, he says, okay, I see you. I see you. Whew. Eli Kassis gets that top 8. Nice, very nice. That was cool. We got to really see the power of the deck and really the lines that we got to go through and say, this is exactly how this works. It's pretty straightforward once you get the ball rolling. You just have to like make those decisions of understanding what's in the list, what's in the deck to be able to help you kind of navigate to a victory there. And you don't need Thassa's Oracle. It's just a pure value engine there.
He sure is. Congratulations.
How many? Oh man, how many Nadus are going to be in the top 8? What are we going to say? At least 50%? Is it going to be 4 out of 8? Is it going to be more than that?